All right, so I hope you're as excited as I am to actually style up our website and make it look good, because at this point we have a pretty ugly website with some functionality, but we want to make sure this thing looks nice. So that's what we'll be doing in this video. And before this, I was trying to figure out if we should actually hand code all of this or if we should just use a theme. And I came to the conclusion that as a developer, especially as somebody that focuses more on the back end, you'll probably be finding themes online, or any other company that you're working with. You're probably just going to have a designer build up a theme, or you'll just buy one and you'll install it. So that's what we're going to be doing here, is we'll be focusing on installing a theme. So I actually had my designer build up a theme for me. So he built out this awesome template. That was Sharir Shuvo. You may have seen him in the introduction, and he built out this really cool theme. So that's what we will do in here. So I didn't want to have to hand code all the CSS because this is a Django course. So we won't be focusing on that here. So in your resources folder, you are gonna see a folder here called Django theme here, or not Django theme, but dev search theme. So in the resources folder, this is in the GitHub repo. Open up this folder right here. And what I'm gonna do here is just go through some of the pages that we have here, and then we will slowly start installing one by one. So the main page I wanna focus on right now is gonna be this index.html. So this is a static template right here. It doesn't do anything. This is the template we're actually going to be using here. So we have our header bar. We're going to install this right here. We're going to focus on getting in all the styles here. And then we will go page by page and actually start slowly implementing. So that's the home page here. If I go back here, this is the page that we're actually going to be installing first here. That's going to be projects. So our projects page is going to go from this to this right here. So we're going to create these cards here and then slowly install them, so these dynamic projects will be output. So this is the entire theme. You can go through all the pages. They're just linked into static HTML files. This is everything that we're going to have here. So we have our form. All of this is already pre-built for us. Now this theme is going to be using something called the Mumble UI. So my designer Shuvo here, Sharir Shuvo, he actually built up our own UI kit. So if you want to reference things and customize it, you could go into that UI kit. So if we go back here, you're going to see all the pages. We'll have the styling for this website inside of app.css here. So that's going to hold all the actual stylings. Let me just close this really quick. Okay, so I was able to close that. All the styling is in here inside of app.css. We have some static images that the theme uses, and we also have a UI kit. So there's going to be a bunch of code in here that you can actually look at and see how it's made, and you can customize that theme. And if you actually want to just check out the UI kit and see exactly how to use it, you could just go to UI kit and then index.html. So inside of that UI kit folder. Now in here, this is where all the stylings are set up. So you can see what all the text is going to look like, how we style the buttons, and what classes to actually apply. So you may have used something like Material UI or Bootstrap. In this case, we're just going to use Mumble UI. So it's a small little UI kit that my designer made, and he made it specifically for the Mumble project, but we're going to be using it in this website. So in order to make these avatars, these are simply the classes you apply, and you're going to get this styling. So we have a few things we're going to work with. We're going to work with these alert messages here. So this is the code for those. Here's some grids that he created, and then our form input. So this is what we're going to see. So don't worry so much about this. This is already built in for us. This is if you just want to customize it and maybe see exactly how it's created. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start installing the first part of our theme. So what we want to do here is style the main page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out or minimize it. We'll go into dev search. So our project will be on the right side and the theme will be on the left side. So this is the template and this is our project. So the first thing I want to do here is I'm going to go into our static folder, and this is how you're typically going to install any theme that you get online. You're going to go through these files and you're just going to apply one by one here. So let's go ahead and run through this. So the first thing I want is my UI kit. So we're just going to put that into the static folders here. So we're just going to drag the UI kit and let's put that into static. So that's going to give us the main styling. And actually what I'm going to do is copy that. So I don't want to break up the theme. So I'm just going to copy that by hitting Control C, and we're going to paste that in. So that's our UI kit. Now for the styles here, we'll go into styles and we're going to copy app.css. So that's the main project styling. This is going to go into our folder here. So inside of our app here, next to main.css, we'll leave it like that. And then what I want to do here is actually take index.html. So that's going to be the home page. We're going to copy this and let's go back into our templates here. So we're going to go into the template and we'll paste it in here. So side by side with main.html and navbar.html. So let's just go ahead and paste that in. So we just did three things. We just added in our UI kit and one of our styles here. So we added that in and then we took in index.html. So now we can actually start applying it. So let's go in here and from here, I can actually see all of those styles. So if I go in here into the templates, this is index.html. So this is my home page. Now at this point, I'm just going to take components of this page here. So I'm going to go as slow as I can because this can be overwhelming for a few people here. So we'll just go bit by bit. So the first thing I want to do is take main.html and apply all the styling here. So we'll go into index.html and let's take everything inside of the head tag here. So let's take all of this and we're going to go all the way to the title here. Copy this, and we're not deleting it from index.html, we're just copying it. Go into main.html and let's just paste everything over this. So we'll paste that in. So now I have my title here. So dev search, we have an official title and all of that is inside of the head tags. Now at this point, it's still not really going to do anything. So if I go ahead and save this, let's go and open up our project. We're not able to see our styling because we haven't officially connected it. So if we actually want to see that UI kit applied, so this UI kit inside of styling, we have a UI kit inside of app.css. If we actually want to apply this, what we're going to do is we need to connect things the Django way. So we see this UI kit and right now it's a hard-coded URL. So at this point, we have load static, so that's still in there. All we need to do is go in here, add in a curly brace and a %sign. And then we're going to tell Django to go in the static folder. We've already done this before, and we're going to add in a single quote. And then in here, close it with another curly brace, and then add in that % symbol, and then add in a single quote. So that's the first one. So let's save that, and let's make sure that's being applied here. So if I refresh that, you'll notice the text changed. So a lot of our styling on our page actually changed here. So that looks good. We know the UI kit is officially applied. So that's basic fonts, colors, and text sizes, and so on. So the next thing we want to do is we want to apply our project styling. So this is all the styling from styles and app.css. So this is what my designer coded up for us. These are all different components of the website, and that's the main style sheet for the entire project. So what I'm going to do is grab static right here, paste it in right there, and then take the closing quote there. And we'll do that from the curly brace. I'm just trying to go slow here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And we're going to save that. So that's going to apply the app's styling. So let's see what that changes. And at this point, I don't think it changes much. Okay, I guess it does. So changed it up a little bit here, but that still doesn't look good here. So we just applied our UI kit and our app styling. So we at least know that that's working. If you saw a change, that's working. So all we did was added all this in the head tags from index.html, and we connected the styles here. Now there is a third party or a CDN here, so don't worry about that. That'll just give us access to the fonts here. So the next thing I want to do is actually build out my navigation bar. So we'll go back into index.html, and the nav bar is inside of this section right here. So we see this header section. So that's inside the body, just underneath the head tags. So we're going to take this header section. This is our navigation bar. Let's take everything from the closing header section, and we're just going to copy that. Now we can go into main.html, actually not main.html, but we're going to go into navbar.html. So remember, we have a navbar inside of main.html. So we'll go into navbar.html, and let's just take all of this, and we're just going to paste it. So we'll leave load static, but we're going to paste all of that right here. So this is our new nav bar. So what we're going to have to do is connect in some links here. So the first thing is I want to make sure that when we click on a logo, that's going to take us to the home page. So we'll just do the curly braces, and right now projects is our home page. So we'll just set that URL, and we'll just go to projects. Okay, so that's in a single quote right there. Now let's just slowly go down the list here and connect all of these. So in here, we see these images. We need to connect that here the Django way. So we'll just add in a curly brace and then a percent symbol. And we're going to say static, and that's the logo here. And then in a single quote, and then add in another single quote, space, percent symbol, and curly brace. Okay, so that should add in our logo now. So let's scroll down here. Let's see all the links here. At this point, we have links to different parts of our website. Those aren't going to do anything. So let's just take these and leave them as empty strings right now. So we're just going to go ahead and leave those blank because we're not linking to HTML files anymore. That's for the static site. And let's actually add one button to add projects. So for now, let's copy this last one here and let's paste it right here. So we'll duplicate it and we'll just say add project, and we'll remove this later once we add in user accounts, but we'll just say add project. Okay, so that's going to be connected to the add project page. So for the URL here, let's go ahead and add in the percent symbols. We'll say URL and then add project, or create project, I believe we called it, create dash project. Okay, so that should connect all of those. If I scroll down, I think that's it. We connected everything. If we missed anything, we'll just come back here. So we have our logo, we have our link to the homepage when we click on that logo, and we added in one more button. So if I save this, let's see what we have here. Okay, so we officially have a header bar. It looks kind of funny. I think it's because I'm really zoomed in at this point. I'm not sure what's going on here, so let's see. So if anything, I'll just get rid of one of these buttons. I feel like one of these is causing it. So let's just take this URL here and let's remove that entire button. So I just copy that and let's just change inbox here, or let's change my account to add project. So we'll just do add project here. And I think it's because our nav bar is too filled up here. So if I save that, if I go back here, there we go. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So we have our navigation bar. If I go to a page here, so let's say we view a project, I can go back and I can click that. So this navigation bar is now officially on every page. That links back to my home page, and that's it at this point. So let's link up projects to the project page, which at this point is our home page. So we'll take this link right here, so the projects, and we will add that to projects. Okay, so that's the nav bar. What we want to do next, if I save that, now I can go here, I can go to projects. If I go back here, I can also go to the logo, and the logo will take us back to the page for all the users later. Now let's go back to our index.html. So we have everything from here, so we don't need anything from this template anymore. So what we're going to do next here is I'm actually going to go into the resources folder. We'll go back to that project here, or the template, and we'll go into the projects folder. So the projects folder is going to give us this page. So this is what we want our page to look like. So let's close this out. Let's take projects here now. We'll take the projects and let's paste that into our templates here. So let's open up the root directory templates folder here. We'll paste that in, and it's going to sit there, and we're actually going to remove it once we extract what we need here. So we'll go back in here. Let's close up the nav bar and main.html. And let's go into our app. So we'll go into, let's see, projects, templates, and then we'll go into projects. So this is our template at this point, and it's extending that main template. So I'm going to go into the projects folder that we just added, and that's why I added it into a different folder, because they're named the same exact thing. And the projects template looks kind of weird. We basically have two projects templates. This one also repeats everything for the header. So in the template, we can't extend templates, so we just have to add in the nav bar and so on. So let's go through here and add in all the sections here. So in this case, I'm going to remove everything within the head tag. So we don't need that. We don't need the header. So I'm just trying to clean up the template and see exactly what we need. So once we close that out, here we go. This is the main section for our projects page. So it opens up right here. If we scroll down all the way down here. So let's take the closing main tag and we'll scroll all the way up here, and let's take everything up into that comment. So I copy that. We can actually just close that now. So I'll just save it. We'll go back into our real projects page, and let's just paste all of that beneath this table here. So I'm just going to paste it in here. So I'm going to save that, and let's see what happens here. So if I go ahead and refresh this page, Now we see that template with some dummy data here. So we see our original page and we see the template. So what we're going to do is slowly take all of this information and put that in here. So right now what I'm going to do is actually get rid of that pagination. So we'll go back into our page. Inside of that projects page, the real one here, we're going to go into pagination. Let's get rid of that. We're trying to clean up our code here. And let's see what we need to do here. So I'm going to take out this title. We don't need that anymore. And I will simply go to this table here. We can get rid of that row. We basically want this for loop right here. So in that template, I'm going to find a single card here. So what I mean by card is one of these right here. So we just want one, and then we're going to iterate through our loop and output those. So I'm going to take a single card and I'm going to find that right here. So dev search results list, project list, container, grid, and then we have a column. So we have one column. So this is the one that we will keep right here. So after this, let's keep this column. Do not delete this one. Let's go through here and delete the rest of the column here, or the columns. So we'll take this one and it ends right here at the start of the next column. Let's delete the next one here. So we're going to take all of this, remove it, take this one, get rid of that. And this is usually how that installation process looks. So that's why I wanted to show you this. I know some people get upset when I'm adding in themes, but it really is something that you're going to do a lot. It's out of the scope of the tutorial to teach all hand coding with HTML and CSS. Okay, so we have one column now. Let me just show you what that looks like. So we'll create some space here. And here we go. So it starts right here and it ends right here. So I'm going to save this. Let's go back into our page. And now we just have the one card. So that's what we did. That's what we did here. We deleted all those other ones. Now what I could do is go back in here and we're going to take this loop right here. So let's just go ahead and take this for projects in project. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it around this column card right here. So we're going to paste it above the column here. And then we also want to close it out. So we're going to take the end for and we're going to paste that at the close of this div right here. So we're going to paste that over. And if I save this now, we should see multiple cards here now. So if I refresh that, they're all just going to say the same thing. So we're just looping through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items here, and we have all those cards. So we have those output, and what we want to do next is actually output the content in these pages. So let's go back in here and let's see, we have project.title. So let's go ahead and take this variable, copy that. Let's go down into this loop right here, and let's see what we have here. So we have the project.title. So we have it hard-coded out project title here. Let's take out this Yoga Studio hard-coded value. We'll paste in the title. We don't have a designer yet, or we don't have profiles yet, so we'll leave that as is. We don't have the user feedback. Actually, yeah, we do. We do have the user feedback. Never mind. So in this case, let's just do this. We'll do vote ratio. Let's copy that. Don't take that % symbol outside there. And we're going to paste that right here. So 98% positive feedback. And that's actually misspelled. So we'll have to fix that in the template. So if that's not misspelled by the time you see this, then just don't worry about that. So let's paste that over here. So now we see the vote ratio. And then out of 72 votes. So 72 votes, that's going to be the vote total. Let's copy that. Scroll down here. Paste that in for that number. And let's see, so then we have created. So when this was created, well, we're not going to output that value. So let's get rid of the title, ratio, and created. So we don't need that anymore. And let's see what we have so far. So if I go ahead and refresh this, now we actually have real values in here. So that looks good. Everything checks out. Let's throw in that image here. So remember from our single project profile or template, we just had to do this. So I'm going to hand code this out. So now inside of that loop, we're going to go in here. We're going to go into that project image. So it's in project thumbnail. We can go in here. Let's create the variable. So remember, we're looping through and we're iterating through our projects here. So we can just do, let's close this out, and we can do project dot featured underscore image and then dot URL here. So we're just outputting the image URL. So if we save that, let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. So these are the images that we actually added in here. So If we wanted to modify one of these, we would actually see it be output. So the last thing I want to do is actually link to the profile page. So right now when we click on it, it just takes us to some kind of template. And we also actually want to output the tags here. So the tags for each image. So when we view these tags right here, we want to output them dynamically. So we can see they're all the same on every single one. So as we click on the card, we add in the link here. So in the template, that usually means that there is a link around everything. So let's see, we have a link right here that takes us to single project HTML. So what I'm going to do here is go to this view button and we can actually take that URL here. So we're going to copy that. Then we're going to go down into the card here. So as we're iterating through these, we can go in here into this link right here and we're going to say send the user to that project page. So we wrapped a link here and I think that was the only one. Let's slowly just go through this. Let's go ahead and do a search for all the A tags. So we'll just do angle bracket and let's see. So the link takes us to the profile here. So we also have a link around the author tag here. So let's throw that in here. So that is this section right here. So we also want the user to be able to click on that. So we want to link the image and this section. That is it, I think. Okay. So we'll go here. Let's replace profile.html and I'm going to do a search again. So we have that one taken care of, those three up here. And we are all linked up here. So I'm going to save that. Okay, so now if I click on this, I can refresh that. If I go to CodeSniper, it takes us to that page. If I go to e-commerce website, so far, so good. Okay, now for the tags here. So I can go in here and let's see how we listed out the tags here. So in the profile page, single project page, we went into for tag in projects.tags.all so we can access a many-to-many relationship that way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the tags section and I'll just get rid of the first two and we're just going to keep this one tag here. So this next.js. So let's go ahead and loop around this and output all the tags. So we're just going to do for tag in project.tags.all and we don't need the parentheses like that. And then we just need to end that loop. So we'll just do end for, and let's go ahead and output the tag in here. So instead of next.js here, we're just going to add in that like this, and we'll throw in the tag here. So let's see what happens. So now if I refresh it, we should see dynamic tags output. So now we can see React and Django, Python, Django, JavaScript, and then this one has more tags, and that's starting to look good. So we have our entire card built up. Later on, we'll replace this right here when we add in user profiles, and so far, so good. Let's actually fix one little thing that I actually think will come up here. So you see how we have 12 votes here? What happens if we have one vote? So what we're doing in the template at this point is we're outputting the number of votes, and then we're just saying votes. Well, what happens if one of these projects only has one vote? So let's go ahead and test this. And I actually forgot to do that too. So let's clean this up. So we'll go in here and now we can get rid of everything in this table. And now our page starts from main section all the way down here. So we successfully added in the template. So let me just check that really quick. Okay, now it's looking better. And later on, we'll add in the pagination and we'll fix up the search form. So what we want to do here is we want to pluralize that. So I'll show you what that's going to look like if we don't actually have that in here correctly. So if we go here, if we go to projects, let's go into CodeSniper. And let's just say 100% or one vote, and then let's say there's like one vote ratio, or that's a 100% voter ratio. So let's say they had one successful vote or one upvote. So if I go back here, look how weird that looks right here. So that's just, if I scroll down here, we see 100% positive feedback from one vote. So we don't want that to say votes, that should say just vote. So if I go in here, I can go into that section and I can do something called pluralize. So in the tags, we can actually add filters. So let's see, positive votes here. So what I'm going to do here is around vote or just after vote, I'm going to add in 2 curly braces, just like that. And then in here, what we're going to say is projects or project.vote total. So we're going to take this value and we'll paste that in here. And then we're going to add in a pipe. And we're just going to say pluralize. So we'll just say pluralize like that. And that just means there's multiple votes. And then inside of our double quotes here, we can add in an S. So this means that if this vote total is more than 1, add in an S. If it's not, then just say vote. So if I go ahead and go back here, let's see. So this one says 6 votes. This one says 1 vote. So we just wanted to fix that up. So let's go ahead and move on to the next page. And the next page is going to be our project template here. So when we go to a single project, so right now we're on our home page, which is just listing out projects. If I go to this page, I want this to also be styled. So what I can do here is let's go back into our template. So let's go into our files actually. So let me pull these up. So we'll open that one up, and then let's see, what was the next one? Okay, so here we go. So the first thing is I'm going to go back into dev search into the root directory. So in templates, and I'm just going to get rid of that projects template. I don't need that anymore. So we're just going to go ahead and delete that, leave index there. And remember, I deleted the one from the root directory, not from our projects folder. We don't want to delete the page we just built out. So if I go in here, so inside of that theme, so again, in that resources folder, go to dev search theme, go to single project here. So this is what a single project should look like right here. So we should see our tags, and then we should see information about the project with some comments here. So what we're going to do here is exactly what we did in the last section. We're going to build this out, and then we'll just start modifying it. So let's go in here, open up those files, and let's take single project. Then we're going to go back into our Django project, into our app, inside of projects, into the templates. Actually, I want to put this inside of the root directory. So in the root directory templates, and paste that in here. So now that we have that, I can go back in here. Let's open this up here. And now we have single project.html within our app and single project.html within our template. So here is all the code here. So again, I'm just going to delete all the head tags here. We don't need that. And then we don't need that navigation bar. So I'm just trying to clean it. And we want everything from main section all the way down to the closing main tag. So let's just grab everything in here. So we're going to take main. Let's take all of this right here. Copy that. Let's go into our app here. We'll go into templates, and then we'll go into single project, and let's paste this just underneath description here. So I want to paste that below it. And at this point, let's go back into our root directory and let's just delete this template so we're not confused later. So we pasted what we need. We don't need that template anymore. Now I'm in single project within the app here. So we'll go into the app, single project here. And this is going to be the exact same thing like what we did in the last page here. So if I save this, let's see what our page currently looks like. So we have our original contents, and now we have all of this down here. So we just need to slowly start replacing this. So we're going to take this profile picture, we'll put it in here, we'll take the tags, the title, and then the description. So we can go in here, let's go down to this section. So let's take that featured profile picture. So this is single project.html. Take this image, copy that URL, and then go inside of the main tag here, inside of the template, and let's see, where is our picture going to be? So we have our tags here on the left side. If we scroll down here, we see this div called column dash 2 of 3. And here is that picture. So I can paste that in here. So I can go up here now, and I'll just actually redo that. So it's in here. So I felt like I scrolled too fast. And then up here, we can get rid of this picture. Let's take our title, and we're going to go down here. Here is our title, single project title. So let's get rid of this value. Paste that in there. And then the description. So single project info. So now we can go ahead and remove our title from here and that HR tag. Let's take the project description. Scroll down here. So that is everything in here. So inside of single project.info, paste that in here. And then let's see, we can go ahead and just save it, and let's see what this looks like. So let's remove the description. Let's check this out, see what that page looks like. And there we go. So it's looking a lot better, and now we have real information. So if we go back here, we click on e-commerce website, we're seeing that content. So what we want to do next is update these tags. So here are our real tags, and here are those fake tags here. So let's go in here, and we can do for tag in projects or project.tags.all. We can go down here. Let's remove all of these tags. So we'll take out the first one, second one, Let's just slowly remove one by one here. So we can get rid of all of these. Let's keep the last one here, so the one that says Figma, and then let's just add in an end for. So we'll just do end for like that. And now we can get rid of these tags here. So I'm gonna save this. Let's go ahead and refresh that. And there we go, we see real tags, and I forgot to output the name, so we see Figma output twice. So let's go ahead and add in the curly braces, and we'll just say tag like that. Now we can go back in here. If I can open up my page here. Okay, so there we go, React and Django. If I go down to Code Sniper, or let's do Mumble Social Network, we see all the tags. Now the last thing we want to do is actually link up the source code. So at this point, what I want to do is make sure that we only add in a link if we have one. So we're going to update something here. So we're going to go into here, and where it says source code, let's go ahead and let's see. So we have our tags here, and it should be underneath our tags. So right here, we have a link to our source code. So it's just underneath our tags here. So it's in the top of the single project page. So what I'm going to do is write a condition, and I'm just going to say if project dot source code link. Let's see, what do we call that inside of our models? So we want to go into the models here, and we want to say if the project has a source code link, let's take that, or source link. So if the project has a source link, then output the tag. So all we're going to do is check that like this, and then we can create the end if. So I'm going to save that. And now if we check this, we don't see that. So let's go into Mumble here within the admin panel. So we'll go into our project again, /admin. Let me zoom in here. We'll go into here, and let's go into Mumble. So now if I want to add in some kind of link, let's just do something like this. We'll just add in some text. So that means that there's something there. If I go ahead and refresh this, that link should be there. And I just realized that was the wrong one. So I'm going to go back into Mumble, and I did that for the source link. So let's output something in the source link. So now I should see that. So right now we see the source code link. So what if we wanted to do the same for the demo link? So I can copy this, and we'll just say live demo. So here we'll just say live demo. And let's see, let's remove the closing tag or closing text. So we're basically allowing a user to check the live demo. In this case, we're going to do demo link, and we just update this right here. So if we have a demo link, show that. If we have the source code, also show that. So there we go. So when we click on these, eventually they'll go ahead and open up a certain page. So if I go to one of these right here, we won't see that. So let's go into the portfolio website, add in something for the demo link, save that, and now we are only seeing the demo link. So that takes care of this part. We also want to add in that voter feedback, and then later on we'll take care of the comments. So let's go into the vote section. Let's just go ahead and add in some tags here. We'll just do project, or the variable project.vote ratio, I believe. So vote underscore ratio, and then vote total. So vote ratio and vote total. Okay, so we're going to go back here, and then we're just going to go ahead and add this in right here. Project.vote ratio. And then we also want to pluralize this too. So we want to make sure that that number is here. So let's go ahead and wrap this S right here, and we'll just do project.vote total, not vote ratio. Sorry about that. So we'll just do vote total. And let's pluralize this. So we'll take this vote total, paste that in here, and we're just going to do pluralize. So with the pipe there, and let's just go back into the projects page and let's see that. So we'll just take this right here and we'll paste this in here. Okay, so we have project.voteTotal.pluralize. So I just want to make sure that that's working. Now we see the real vote total. If we go back to our projects, let's find the one with one vote. If I go here, now it's one vote. Okay, so that takes care of the profile page for us. I mean single project page, so not profile page. We haven't done that yet. So the next thing we want to do is work on this add project page. So we want to style this form. It looks pretty bad at this point. So we just have our projects and we have a single project. So when we click on add a project, we're going to go ahead and style this, and we'll style the delete page later once that link is actually there. So what we want to do is go back to the template again. So let's go into our folders, and I'm going to go into my Django project. And then in here, we're going to go into a template here, which I called form template, or Sharir Shuvo called form template. So it's a simple form here. We're going to use this, and then we're going to output this in our page, and then this will actually style this form here. So this template is pretty dynamic. So for this, what I'm going to do is go back in here. Let's take our form template, copy that, and then we're going to paste this into our root directories template folder. So our form template, and we're going to slowly apply this bit by bit again. So this will be the last template that we're going to be adding. So if we look at this, if we go into template, form template, let's just remove the head tag again. This is all the same on every page, and we can remove the head tag for the nav bar. We don't want to repeat that. Let's just take this main section here. So this template, I'm not going to delete it after. We're going to keep this in here because I will apply it to multiple pages. So let's take the template all the way to the main tag, copy that. We can close out the template, so we'll save it. And let's go into our app now. So within our app, inside of our template here, we'll go into project form. Let's paste this just below here. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in. Let's see what we have here. So if I open this up, we can close out the template itself, and let's refresh that. Okay, so we have our original form and then our form here. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and take this form. Let's take the form here. Let's add in the CSRF token. Let's go ahead and add in ink type multi-part form data. We're going to paste that in into this form. We're sending a post request, so that's good. And we have a class of form that's going to be for styling. And let's see. So we have that. What we want to do now is actually output the form. So what I'm going to do here is take this form. And remember when I showed you a way to just loop through all your form fields? Well, we're going to do that here because that's going to allow some styling for our form. So we're going to take this form, and let's actually delete all of this. So we don't need that title anymore. And we're going to go down here and remove all of these form fields. So we're going to start at the last one. Let's take out this one. We're going to leave that input button. So we still want that there. Let's take this one right here, and let's leave this very last one here. So what I'm going to do is create that for loop again. So we're just going to do for field in form. So we're going to loop through all the fields in our form, and we want to output them here. So we'll just do end for. Okay, so we have our form. We're looping through all the fields. We want a wrapper around every field called form field class. That's going to allow the styling here. And let's just do this. Let's go into the field, and within the label, we're just going to do field.label. So we want to output the label. And then for the input, we're just going to do field here. So let's get rid of this right here, paste that in there, or remove that, and we'll just do field. Okay, so now if we take a look at our form, it's not going to be fully styled, but now our form sits in here. So it looks a little bit better here. Now to actually style these, if we look at the template here, so let's go back into the template. So we'll go into the root directory, into the form template. Look what we have to put on every field. So we have to put these classes on here. So we have to put the class of input and then whatever we need inside of a specific field. The only problem here is that we are looping through this dynamically and we just output these fields. So how can we put a class on here? Now there's multiple ways of doing this. One is to use JavaScript and try to find those field names by their IDs and modify that. I don't want to do that. Let's actually remove that T right there. What I'm going to do is actually just customize a model form and apply a class in the model form. So once we apply that class, this field will have a specific class. In that case, it's going to say input, and then that will actually be styled. So let's go into our app here, into forms. And what I'm going to do here is customize this model form right here. So this class right here, we're going to modify it. They are highly customizable. If you want to look into exactly how they're built, it will help you understand exactly what we're doing here. So go to the Django GitHub repo, and you can actually find what a model form looks like. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and access attributes and start customizing them. So the first thing I'm going to do is edit tags here. And for the tags, I want to make sure that these are checkboxes here. So I don't want to have to click on these and hit control. It's not really user friendly, so we want to change that. So we're going to go in here, and the first thing I need to do is run a quick import, and we're just going to modify the widgets here. So we're just going to do from Django import forms, and we're just going to go ahead and go one line down here. Make sure indentation is with model and fields here, and we're just going to do widgets. So this is actually one way we can customize the classes, and I'm only going to use this for our tags here, and then we're going to do something else to actually add classes. So at this point, we're just going to go ahead and select the field that we want to modify. In this case, we're telling it to modify the tags field, and we're going to change what this field looks like. So we're going to go into forms.check box, select multiple. So capital C, capital S, capital M, and that's going to be it. And that turns it into a checkbox field. So we can modify our classes from widgets, but there's a reason why I don't want to do things this way, and we'll see that a little bit later. So if I refresh this, now these are checkbox fields. So that looks better, and now we just want to add in some classes to these. So let's go back into our forms.py file, and how I'm going to do this is simply by overriding the init method here. So let's go ahead and create our function here. We'll just do init and then finish that up here. So for this, we're going to have to pass in self. So self here, and then star args, and then we'll just do star keyword arguments, so quarks here. So quarks like that. Okay, so we have the init method. Now we're going to go ahead and add in super here, and this is going to inherit from the project form. So we're basically telling it which class we're going to be modifying, and after that we're going to pass in self here, and then after that we're going to do dot underscore init, and then finish that up here, and then we're going to pass in args and quarks here. So why is that underlined? It looks kind of weird. Looks good at this point, so I'm not sure why it's showing up like that. Oh, there needs to be 2 stars there. Okay, so we're just going to take that, pass that in here, and now what we can do from here is we can just do self.fields. So we're going into the fields now, and this way is a little bit repetitive, but I'm going to show you a little hack here that makes this faster. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the field that we want to modify. So we're just going to select title here. So we're going into self.fields, and we're getting the title field. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do dot widget dot attribute. So ATTRS, so attributes, and we're going to update a specific attribute. So we're just going to do dot update, and then in here we're going to pass in a dictionary, and we're going to tell it what attribute we want to update. So we're going to say update the class here, and for this class, go ahead and make that class input. So what did we just do here? So we went into this field right here, title. We use the init method here, and we're just going to override it. We select that, we go into the widgets, attributes, and we want to update a specific attribute. We told it to update the class and go ahead and make that an input field, or add this class to it. So if I save this, so a CSS class, remember we're working with Python classes, and then that's a CSS class. So if I save this, if I refresh it, this styling changed all of a sudden. So we can add a lot here. So if I go ahead and inspect that, what we can see here is that we now have the class of input, and that's what gave it its styling. So we can modify multiple values here. So let's go back in here and let's actually modify the placeholder. So we'll just say placeholder like that, and we can just say select or add title here like that. So we're just selecting the attributes that we want to modify. So if I refresh that, now we have some placeholder text. So we can do a lot from here. We can add multiple classes, we can add IDs, and so on. So this method would technically require us to do something like this, where we can select the description here, and we can add that, and that will now modify the description. Let's see, something went wrong there. Description, I just want to copy and paste that. Oh, and we're just going to get rid of that, so the placeholder's throwing us off here. So we can do that for every single field, but that's going to make our code a little bit messy. So we're going to create a quicker method for that. So now this is styled, and we have to go through and do this for every field here. So to make this faster, I'm just going to create a for loop here. So I'm just going to comment this out, and I'll just leave this for you if you want to see this. We're going to comment that out, and we're just going to say for key value, so for KV, and we're going into the fields here. So we're going into self.fields.items here. So that's a dictionary. So we're going into the items here. And then once we're looping through this, we want to go into each field and update it. So this way we won't have to get each field individually. Now, if we want to highly customize them, maybe we don't want one field to have that input class, then you wouldn't want to do this. You wouldn't want to do it this way, but you could just do that manually. But this makes it a little bit faster since we don't really care. At this point, we just want every class to have this. So attributes, and then we'll just do .update, and then we can pass in class. So we'll just take this right here, and we'll throw that in here. So this is supposed to be the value. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, let's see, what do I want to call this? So I'm going to say for name, and then I'm going to call this one the field. So this is actually going to be the field. We're going to update the field.widget. So that just looked funny, but we accessed it that way, and that should do it. So I'm going to save this, and then if we go back here, now all the fields are updated. So we just went through that form, and we just added the class of input to every single field. So that looks a little bit better, and now our form is officially styled. So that's it for this video. We installed the theme, we modified our model form. It may have been a little bit challenging to install that theme since we were copying and pasting, but I hope you're able to follow that. That is something you will need to do as a developer in most cases, is working with themes like that. So in the next video, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna move on to creating another app for our users. And really quick, let's fix this right here. Just notice one little issue. So right as I was talking, we'll go into projects, templates, projects down here, and we're just gonna take this out of here. So we accidentally wrapped it, so the parentheses, and we're gonna put that after the total. So now that should fix it. Okay, there we go. So 12 votes like that. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.